Did I just see my boy Frieza get bodied in this? Yo. Yo! Like, yo, I just finished that episode and I was just in utter shock, dude. Like, from the start to finish, when Toppo went to, like, God Destruction mode. I mean, we all knew it was coming, okay? If you saw the preview, you saw it coming. But just what happened, that was probably one of the most surprising things about this episode. Because what Frieza did and what happened to him, it's karma. But I'm just like, I just saw my boy Frieza just get bodied. Like, the man, he got manhandled so hard. It was on a whole new level. Like, let's just talk about it for a second, okay? So Frieza has this God of Destruction energy coming into Hawkeye. And he's like, oh, it's only gonna take one hand. Puts up one hand. And then it starts hitting his hand. He's like, huh? Like, you just see how he's starting to struggle. And he puts both hands and all that. And then he just starts getting dragged off. And it blows up. The stage cracks, the sky changes, everybody is shocked, okay? And then, after everything is said and done, he comes back, you see the signature, like, tail slap on the ground, which is exactly, like, literally identical to the scene when Goku fires the Spirit Bomb against Frieza in the Namek Saga. When he comes back, he slaps his tail down, and then he looks at, you know, Goku, Piccolo, and all of them, and then he takes out Piccolo, raises up Krillin, blows him up because he was angry. That's exactly what that scene was. It was literally like Frieza tanking a Spirit Bomb. I'm like, this man Frieza, like, he just tanked like a God of Destruction blast from Toppo, which is impressive. But once everything was said and done, Frieza gets destroyed. Like, his face, like, his head is getting crunched like a freaking melon. I'm like, oh, like, oh. Like, yo, like, my boy Frieza acted like he tanked the Spirit Bomb, and that was crazy. And then he tanks a, you know, God of Destruction energy, which is crazy. And then Toppo's like, that ain't everything. It just throws him away. But what makes the scene even better, okay, is the fact that Frieza, after what he said to Toppo at the start of the episode, he's like, oh, trash should be thrown into the trash bin and all that. He's getting all cocky. And then Toppo says the exact same line to Frieza. He's like, oh, didn't you say trash belongs in the trash bin? And then knocks Frieza away. Thankfully, Android 17, for the save, hits Frieza with a rock, says, my hand slipped. Love that line, by the way. And Frieza's, you know, motionless body is laying on the side of the edge. And I'm like, okay, he's not knocked out. He can come back, but still, Toppo manhandled Frieza. Like, Frieza getting destroyed like he did was very satisfying. Even though I'm a Frieza fanboy, I like Frieza. I've been, you know, having a lot of theories about Frieza. Just seeing that moment when Frieza's like, I will erase you, that's just a title and all that, and he puts up his signature, you know, death ball, about to launch it, and straight up Toppo annihilates it like it's nothing. I'm like, yo, like, that's savage. Like, Toppo just, like, destroyed Frieza's signature attack. You remember the reason why Frieza did that in the first place, like, in the Namek Saga, was because he's a very desperate individual. He knew he couldn't win in a fight of raw strength, which is why he did that in the Namek Saga, why he used, you know, the death ball to blow up the planet, because he knew he really couldn't beat Goku at that moment. I mean, that's also why he blew up the planet in the movie, the Resurrection of Frieza arc and all that, or the movie. The reason why he blew up Earth was because he knew he couldn't win, so he resorted to doing something very devious or evil, which is what he was doing right there. He was about to do a signature Frieza move, the final finisher, and Toppo's just like, get out of here, like, get out of here, like, yo. Like, the man got destroyed. Like, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Just, it was too good. Like, the episode, woo, it was good. Okay, so with all that said and done, though, Toppo, his strength level, that is something that needs to be discussed, okay? So Toppo, he fired a massive energy wave of God of Destruction energy, whatever title, okay? He slung a big massive energy ball at Frieza. Frieza was able to hold it back, but at the sake of him expending, I'm assuming, all of his energy in that moment, like most of his energy, because he was no longer Golden Frieza when all that was said and done. You see how he is back up, his eyes hurt, very similar to how what happened with the Spirit Bomb, but even then, though, Frieza expended a lot of energy to be able to survive that, but it was a very big ball of energy. Now, this is something we need to point out. The previous energy that Frieza encountered was a lot smaller, on a very smaller scale. I think his name was Sidra or Syndra. I forget how to pronounce his name, so forgive me for that, but, you know, he's already eliminated, so yeah, he's gone now. But, he used a fraction of his energy, like maybe like 1% or so of his actual energy when it came to his Hawkeye. And when he actually, you know, the energy we saw in this episode, it was definitely on a larger scale than what, you know, the other God of Destruction used against Frieza. So when you compare the energy levels, many might assume that Toppo is stronger, but that probably is not the fact, because what we saw from the previous God of Destruction, he only used a fraction, and he made Frieza get that exerted. Like, he had to exert himself that much to be able to resist it. And so that basically shows that Toppo most likely might not be on the level of other Gods of Destruction. He just has God Ki, which makes him really savage, insane, but he's definitely probably not up there yet. He's just a candidate for God of Destruction. It does not automatically mean that he is their level yet. Now, anyways, with that being said, though, I do say that Toppo, oh my god, like, the man is, I didn't think I would like Toppo as much as I did after watching this episode. Like, he's a good character. I like him, not just because of his epic moves, to what he did at Frieza and all of that. I really like what he did in this episode when he's like, justice, it's useless, it doesn't matter. He threw away everything. The only thing that remains is him winning, survival, and destruction. That's all that remains, is destruction. And I think that is a very meaningful scene, especially for how you probably obtain God of Destruction mode, for instance, how Beerus is and all of them. This might have some weight towards that, but even then, though, Toppo sacrificing everything just to achieve that, you know, mode is pretty insane, because, I mean, ever since his character was introduced, he's always been about justice, evil, good. That's been a big thing of his character, ever since he was introduced. He was the one of the big people that started off with Goku being evil and all that. Like, Goku, you're a very heinous and evil person. And now seeing, you know, this scene and how he threw all that away, like, good and evil, it no longer matters. I'm beyond that now. I'm like, yo, like, that's just his character, his change to be able to achieve this. He always had this potential to be this strong, to have this level of strength. It just, he didn't want to throw everything away. He didn't want to throw away his justice, good and evil, but he had to be able to survive this. So that was, I truly like that. I like how that was done and all that. I wonder if this is how you possibly achieve it. You have to throw everything away. It does explain a lot about Beerus, though, like maybe how he achieved his, you know, God of Destruction title. Anyways, Android 17. What he did in this episode, very impressive. I have to say that he has definitely done a good job in this Tournament of Power arc, and I'm glad he's had so much time to shine, prove his strength, and fight, even up against God-level opponents. He's done a good job, and so I do sense him getting knocked out very soon. It's just a matter of time until he does, because Frieza not getting knocked out is one thing. I thought Frieza was, like, erased for a moment in this episode. Like, I thought he was gone, but then he came back, but then I was like, okay, he's done in that moment, but he hit the ground, he's still on board, so Frieza has the potential to come back. He's not done, but it's just only a matter of time until characters start getting knocked off, and I definitely see 17 being the next, and then the next character to get knocked off, that's a very questionable thing. Is it going to be Frieza or Vegeta? Most likely, if I had to assume anything, for Frieza to be knocked out right now, I'm going to assume Vegeta's going to get knocked out after 17. The reason why is probably because of Frieza and his role for the future of the series. Even though we know Dragon Ball Super is going to be ending on episode 131, it doesn't mean that the story is over. We know for a fact it's not over. Just the way this arc feels, it doesn't feel like in-game. There's just so much more left to explain. And so, I feel like Frieza surviving to the end feels more fitting, because maybe he'll have a wish that will just mess everybody up and then we'll left on a cliffhanger or something. Or maybe our universe loses and Jiren wins. I mean, we don't really know at this time. And it's looking more and more unlikely. Whoa, I couldn't English for a second. Looks more and more unlikely for, you know, our characters to actually win up against Universe 11 because of what we have been seeing. Their power and all that. It's ridiculous. I mean, it's not even just Jiren anymore that Goku and Vegeta have to fight. They have to go up against a man that literally has the title God of Destruction and Hawkeye. He's using, you know, destruction. So, yeah. It's definitely something that you can't actually fight with ease. So, we'll see where that goes. But, episode overall, pretty good. It was a really good episode. I mean, we'll see where it goes. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How'd you feel about this week's episode of Dragon Ball Super? How'd you feel about Frieza being manhandled? How do you feel about Frieza's head getting squished like a melon? How do you feel about him staying in the ring? Let me know your honest thoughts in the comments below. And I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. Please be safe. Chibi out.